let's get down to it. Let's talk about roster movements. It's one hell of an off-season, high off of another Filipino World Championship victory, and I honestly can't wait for more MLBB. So let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? It's another episode of Recall on Record at your service. My name is Leo. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Smart Giga Arena, your training ground of greatness. If at any point in time you're looking to get some competitive MLBB, Smart Giga Arena's got you covered. Visit gigarena.smart and check in with whatever MLBB tournaments we have going there. There's Magic Chess, Brawl, solos and duos. Sometimes you can even play with me. Or if the timing is right, you can join in on something a little more competitive, like Kings League. That's an actual esports roadmap that can get you to a LAN event and win cash prizes. Get to it. Once again, that's Smart Giga Arena. Visit via gigarena.smart and log in using your Smart and TNT mobile numbers. Shout out as well to Dark League Studios, where heroes come to light, and to ASUS, Republic of Gamers, for those who dare. Keeping your boy always equipped with the best. Y'all see them ROG Phone 8 reveals? Woo! It's a beauty. It's a beauty. I don't even know how to push the ROG Phone 6 and 7 to their limits. What more, the new 8 goes beyond gaming. Let's get to it. This episode, as mentioned, we'll be talking about roster movements. And as a little bit of a caveat, we'll only be talking about roster movements that have been confirmed by the respective organizations. Truth be told, madali lang if we're going through rumors and we're just talking about he said, she said, I saw this on a story, saw this on a post, this person said this and this. We're only going off of official sources. So if it was like a screen cap of somebody's picture that was a 200 by 200 pixel photo and video, no matter how legit that source may be, I'll only be talking about ones that have been confirmed and revealed by these orgs. Before we begin, you know what we do. Let's go through the socials real quick. And again, if you're watching this through YouTube, that means you're looking at this earlier than those on Facebook. Saying what's up to G3 Lofi. There's no such thing as a curse in general. Our belief in curses is our ignorant attempt to make sense of coincidences. So, if you watch the video later on, then you'll notice that, yeah, it's mostly just looking for patterns and figuring out how these things work. And I covered a majority of what I think of that whole host country curse thing. Kiev, there's no such thing as a host country curse. PH has been dominating the M Series for years. There's no curse, it's just sheer talent, skills, and strategy. What I think is a curse is the season's favorite curse. Now I want to hear more about that. What do you think that means? What is a season's favorite curse? Because if I'm going to try to break that down and make sense of that, I think a season's favorite means you were on top for a wee bit, and that allowed for you to maybe get complacent or fall on your laurels, no matter how quick, how simple, or how fast that happens. Because again, it's a tendency, and then boom, you're opened up to opportunity to get a punish from the metagame, and then pow. Marvs says, I'm buying this, thank you. Again, buy or sell whenever there's a headline. This episode's headline coming in just a bit. I'm trying out something new, so buy and sell later on. There's no such thing as curses, host country or caster or otherwise. In all competitions, it's always the better team that comes out on top, not because of any curses, but because they're the better team. Thanks, Marvs, you're awesome. Always engaging with the content that we bring out. Evan Bon G Bod 3993. Hey, there's a regular right there. Long comment. Would love to dig into this. But yeah, basically the gist of it all is it's all for the fact of narrative and marketing, and you pick the most simple angle that people can latch onto, the least common denominator, and that is the fact that PH on top, no one win local, or no one wins if they're host, and will this happen, right? It's simple. It's a triumvirate and a trio of possibilities and facts that are presented. And again, rule of threes, people latch onto that. Makes sense. So from a marketing perspective, it made sense, right? And it did. People loved it. People bought that hard. That's why we broke the record again. And people were saying, MLB esports is on the downtrow. We're losing viewership. Till that this year breaking, or last year breaking the record again. I'll see y'all in M6. The Yunker, host country curse? Nah, PH as of the moment is just that good and was the best team. Okay, here's the thing. I appreciate y'all agreeing with me and presenting your opinions in a very intelligent manner. But I just feel bad. Like, I feel like I've backslid into a safe thought, into a safe opinion. So we're gonna try to make it spicy again. All right, I'm gonna try to drop some hot ones in this episode. So don't worry. Yoshipoo. All right. Yep. There was no such thing until it was brought up. The only reason why no host country has ever won is because the Philippines never hosted it up until just recently. So that makes sense. Aries totally just the same. Here's an interesting bit. It's just that PH is strong, and at M1, ID was just ahead of the game. It's just pure coincidence. And I'll agree, right? As mentioned prior, at M1, ID versus ID, far second, an MY team. And then PH just, boom, snapped out, took it from right under the world in M2, and we never let go. Flasher. Filipino teams were able to win the World Series outside the country. What more it would be on our home soil, on our own soil. To be fair, it was pretty close, right? I'm not so sure what kind of effect playing on home soil has. Well, number one, yeah, you're more encouraged to. It's a majority in the arena supporting you. But that aside, we were never really stopped by an away or a out of country situation, right? PH versus PH, Singapore. PH versus PH, Indonesia. So, either way, we were on top regardless. KD 3500, host country curse until PH host M series. Papow, keep that trophy here with us. Okay, so we've gone through the YouTube comments of last episode. So best believe if you want to be featured in the next episode, comment on this one. Let's get it. Let's cover the brunt of this episode. Roster movements. Again, covering only official sources. Confirmed, Udil is out of Alter Ego. I'm not even going to cover the other half of this discussion because, again, there have been sources stating where he's going. But until that's made official by the other side, I'm only really reacting and covering to the fact that Alter Ego, bar none, one of the most beloved, notorious, and I'd say, for the most part, strong teams out of MPLID. Definitely explosive, unless there's something going wrong with their draft or the way that they read the metagame. Always a team to be respected regardless. They're capable of pushing forward and forcing series and even just ending them right then and there based on how I've seen them the past few years. They've lost one of the Kages. They've lost one of, in my opinion, one of the most charismatic athletes in all of MLB esports. Not just ID, right? Not just ID. Dude, have you seen this man enter an arena? Dude, I don't speak Bahasa. I understand it a little, again, after having listened to it, heard it a lot, having been to Indonesia, but I don't understand. But when he gets that microphone, the few times that he has, even when they're at their lowest, after being eliminated, he would be handed the microphone. Again, he's the mouthpiece of AE for the longest time. I would be like, yes, whatever you're saying, Udil, yes, I am with you. I'm an altar champ, bro, yes. So, because of him, right? Because of him, and now he's out of the team. Wherever he's headed, they're winning. Regardless of if they take home a trophy or they win anything major, they're winning. Whatever the deal is, whatever team he ends up in is a good deal for that team. And I hope Udil doesn't retire for a long while. At this point, I'm not so sure exactly how long and how much left he has in the tank, but I want to see more of Udil. I hope Udil hits another peak. And I hope that we see him pull his antics and his, charm on a grand stage once again. So best of luck, Udil, wherever you might end up. Pretty sure that'll be revealed to us in an official measure and platform soon. But yeah, AE just released Udil. Gary is in Todak now. Not so sure what went down with Rival. Maybe I should ask Lafel or our Malaysian brothers and sisters out there. But yeah, no, Gary's always been great. Gary's always been a performer. Besides Chibi, Gary's another big name that has come out of the MPL MY. I don't doubt that Todak will go through another renaissance. Because again, no matter what you do to Todak, they have the essence of what a Malaysian squad is, right? They're explosive, they're creative, they got the flow, and who knows, maybe with this new roster that they're assembling, regardless of what it might look like once it's final, again, down to the 5, 6, 7 players, plus coaching staff, this might be another chance for Malaysia to step up to the plate, to come up to a close second or third. But right now, they're choosing to go with a change in their jungler, Gary. I was okay with Rival, but he never really felt like, in the couple of seasons that he was with Todak in 2023. So yeah, best of luck, Gary. Again, I'm hoping that Todak comes up once more. They've lost their touch for the past 3 to 6 months. So I'm hoping the Swordfishes get back on top with the help of Gary in the jungle. Let's talk about Games of the Future. Why not? It's going to be held in Kazan in late February. So that's in a month and a half from now, give or take. There have been a handful of teams that are confirmed to be going, and there are a handful of confirmed teams with lineups. Number one is AP Bren. So they're just sending AP Bren Prime, the World Championship squad, minus Coach Vren. More on that later. But also, Onyx Indonesia has confirmed their slot and their roster. Best believe it's just Onyx Indo Prime. The team that came so close to taking home the M5 World Championships. It's the same 8 dudes. It's the main 5, or the first 5, plus Albert, plus Coach Adi, plus Coach Yeb. This just shuts down everything that's been spoken about in the past 3 to 4 weeks of Kyrie coming back to the Philippines, Coach Yeb and Kyrie leaving Onyx ID, Onyx ID having to re-roster given what happened. No. They will stay together, and who knows, Games of the Future might actually be the start of a new age wherein, again, we go into the whole MSC Snapdragon Pro Series situation of, hey, don't forget, it's still a very close rivalry. PH versus Indo might happen in Kazan. So you're not going to want to miss that tournament. Onyx ID dropping just big news. It's the same dudes. It's the same 8 dudes serving it up. As well confirmed, a couple of, I'm not so sure if we can say completely Russian squads, but squads from the EECA are confirmed, and that is Deus Volt, top 4 from M5, and Rose Noir. I have to admit, I don't know much about Rose Noir. They haven't really confirmed their roster just yet, but Deus Volt has. Deus Volt is rocking a majority of their starting 5, which is Kid Bomba, Savo, Sunset Lover, and Magister. Guess who's missing? Carvey. Carvey is going to be sitting this one out, and instead it's Hiko in the jungle. That's the preliminary reports, and I don't know exactly what the situation is with the Filipino-Norwegian gold laner, but it's going to be Hiko. That's what was released in official channels. Gosu Gamers reported on this, and they also are building up their coaching staff, I hear. And they're playing close to home. So this must be another way for them to do better already. They have great momentum. Top 4 in the World Championships with 2 Filipino teams, an Indo team, and then you guys. Great start already to 2024. So hoping to see more from Deus Volt. whatever kind of developments might happen on their side of the camp, let's just stay tuned, all right? It's a month and a half before Games of the Future actually starts. That's all we have for now when it comes to the international side of things. Let's talk about MPL PH. Admittedly and understandably, MPL PH social media has been kind of mum. We are in the off-season proper. I assume promotions will begin once Games of the Future starts. That is a Tier A tournament recognized by Liquipedia. I don't know what exactly the categorization is or how they got that, but I'm expecting it to be big. It's an international level event, and the biggest of biggest teams are coming out to play. I'd maybe put it at the same level as a Snapdragon, right? Because Onyx going, AP Bren is going, all these other big names are going, so it's something to watch out for. I believe MPLPH should be covering that, and we will have our own counterpart to the promotions. But recently, we got something to be thankful for. MPLPH actually collated and summarized some of the roster movements that happened the past week. So let's cover that right now. Starting with Onyx PH. Confirmed out. Onyx PH actually did plenty. Onyx PH just did not pull any punches here. Let go of Cram, an XP laner. Let go of Rapidot, the first of this batch to go. They let go of Yoshinu, so that's 2 roamers out. And they let go of Perxiva, so that's 3 roamers out. What's going on? Nets also, by the way, no longer there. That one happened rather sooner than later. So with these 4 out confirmed and some of the movements happening, Onyx is ripe to be one of the teams that got a total facelift. Now, say what you will about the rumors out there, who's been seen where, who's doing what, who's quiet for the past month. But I'll just say, even on a official and non-rumor based front, Onyx PH is going to be big in Season 13. Just off of the process of elimination, just off of the process of deduction, right? Looking at who's missing, looking at who's going where, and what this team could be up to. The Filipino porcupines are spicy. Watch out for Onyx PH, all right? I'm telling you this now. Let's talk about Minana Evos or Minana Esports. They've let go of quite a bit as well. They've let go of Lord JM, an XP laner, very mechanically gifted. All right, let's hit pause real quick. I have to admit, Lord JM and Lansu, I got confused between the two. Everything I said about Lord JM still stands, though. I believe one of the better parts of that roster that they ran in Season 12, despite all of the ups and downs and the struggles, Lord JM's great. Lansu, though, I do hope the young man finds a career renaissance. Hopefully, he is able to develop himself, grow elsewhere after parting ways with Minana. But wherever that may be, here in the Philippines, through the MDL or other leagues, or, you know, internationally, overseas, seems to be a thing. The other countries, the other regions just love Filipino players because, again, we just make great MLBB athletes. I understand. We wish him the best. Lansu, more power, bro. Back to the video. Boyet, jungler. They've let go of Goyong in mid. They let go of Brusco, who is now with RRQ. I'm excited about that. He seems to be sitting in where the former Burmese phenom Naomi was. So I'm with it. Brusco has a spicy hero pool. Brusco can play the heroes that Naomi does. So I like it. RRQ seems to have found a solid roamer that was a free agent and picked him up. Also, 2 coaches are out as well, Coach Ison and Coach Josh. So you could assume what's happening with Minana Esports, with Minana Evos. I'm not even sure if the partnership is still on going into Season 13. Second, maybe only to Onyx PH, or at par with Onyx PH. We can expect big things to come from Minana Evos. Whatever that roster might look like in Season 13, I hate to hype it up too much out of proportion, but should be quite the roster. Going to RSGPH here, which is also coming in as a surprise. After winning the MPL Invitational, they let go of Eman. They let go of Coach Tio. They were both there in Jakarta when they won the very first MPL Invitational trophy for the Philippines. And Coach G, who has been on hiatus, safe to say, for RSGPH for the better part of a year and a half. So I guess that was just a contract situation happening behind the scenes. I don't know for sure, don't quote me on that. But now he's finally free and he can pursue other things outside of Raider country. So what I'm going to say about these three gentlemen who were there during peaks of RSGPH's rise, and of course reign. Eman, MSC champion, MSC MVP. Coach Tio again, MPLI, was there for a majority of the 2023 run. Coach G, MSC 2022, was there with Eman and working online with Coach Panda. So he was the one, pushing for the boys in Malaysia. Expect to see them again. Expect to see them elsewhere. I don't know where, I don't know when we'll see that, but it's not over for these three, for sure. There's just way too much talent among the three of them for them to just call it quits here now, especially for Eman, especially for Coach Tio. Coach G, he got a lot of things going on. He's a family man, he's a businessman, but for the two prior, Eman and Tio, madami pang makita dyan sa dalawang yan, alright? And last but not least, Irad, who was one of the first to actually have been announced to be leaving RSGPH. Confirmed he is with RRQ now. So their last jungler was okay. Their last jungler was also a former champion. Their last jungler was that young man from EVOS, right? What was his name? I hate to be looking it up now, but his name escapes me. He was in MSC 2021. Oh, what was his name? What was that young man's name? Dude, I'm getting like a bajillion pop-ups. Really? Right when I need to look at the jungler's name. Fursick, there you go. Fursick is still here. Fursick is still there. But Irad is joining them too, all right? Fursick. Gosh, Fursick. Was with EVOS Legends, and then, you know what I mean? Okay. So, Fursick and Irad. That's it. It's unstoppable. That's like Irad Demon Kite. I'm not saying Demon Kite's as good as Fursick, but there's a lot of play here for, get this, Coach Vren. No! Not more than a couple of weeks after winning the World Championship right here on home soil, Coach Vren reveals. Coach Vren has gone over to the other side. Coach Vren is now with RRQ. That's crazy. That's crazy. And it's part of the market. He holds up the medal, fam. He holds up the medal. It's basically like CM Punk winning the WBG Championship and leaving, running through the crowd. My man's Ray Ash, he made the meme. That's perfect. But that's not a heel move. I don't think that's a heel move. It's just Coach Vren going on his own path. He's telling his own story. And you would have thought he reached a peak. You would have thought that, hey, I won the World Championship. It's over. I'm done. No. Mans has more to do. Mans has more to do. Mans is going to add to the fire and add color to this ongoing narrative of PH versus ID and say, you know what? Let's see what they got over here. Let's see what I can do over here. And that's going to make 2024 all the more spicy. So more power, Coach V. More power. You go look BTR in the face and say, hey, look, it's me again. It's going to be fun. I'm definitely going to be watching MPLID much closer now. And we'll definitely be standing RRQ. There's a good bunch of Filipinos there now, right? Solid work. All right, we got sidetracked by the RSGPH roster movements, but that's it. That's it. We've covered all of the RRQ acquisitions. Let's cover the last MPLPH confirmed movement, and that is TNC. TNC Pro Team officially released Hesu. I'm expecting TNC to get a facelift, but not majorly. They also have lost a few players in the offseason directly after Season 12 and during M5. But for now, I'd say they'd change maybe 20-30%. Maybe even coaching staff. Which brings us to my last topic for this episode of Recall on Record. Halika Rita real quick, just a mid-recall update. On the same day that this episode got recorded, there have been some massive announcements, all right? Real quick, come here closer. Burnex Flash actually confirmed it. That's right. Nauna yung commercial. They actually released the Pro Vida drinking water commercial featuring Donut before they officially announced both him and Coach Mitch are now joining Pro Esports. So they're staying within MPL Cambodia. So that's one. Number two, this one's sakto naka TNC jersey pa tayo. It's confirmed King Kong is leaving the House of the Phoenix. And where he's going, I don't know, but I'm hoping that, the young Cyric Perez and his dad, who I still stand to this day, find a good place to go. I don't know. I'm not so sure if it's TNC letting him go or if he wants to explore greener pastures. Pero promising, eh. There's a lot to unlock within King Kong. So there's that. And then last but not least, another one of my favorites confirmed to be leaving their team. Y'all know I'm a big fan of Ryzen, yeah? Ryzen has been confirmed to be leaving Onyx. I don't know where he's going. Ryzen has been released. He is now a free agent. So Onyx PH no longer has a jungler. Is that right? Oh, ano? Onyx no longer has a jungler. What's going on? Onyx PH is going to look so different in Season 13. Man, I really got to sit down on this. Back to the show. We're going to be covering a discussion, right? Our good friend Neil Robert Midnight de Guzman, also known as MDNYT97 on social media, actually put out a novel of a status on Facebook talking about imports. That's it. He had a header, imports, and then just laid out his thoughts in a very eloquent manner, straight to the point. And he asked 4 major questions. Number 1, how many can we actually export? Number 2, how long can PH withstand losing players? Number 3, what does it do to our ecosystem? And number 4, does PH actually need to do something about it? He shares his thoughts, and the first few times I actually read it, I was also answering as I was taking in his thoughts. So you can read the status. You can check it out. I'm sure you've seen it. To answer and build on his discussion, number 1, how many can we actually export? I think many more. The way he words it is relatively cautious because he ends the point with what would be left for MPLPH. But based on what I'm seeing, we're not exactly hurting for players. We can make more. We can send out more. And with the MDL having been established last year, makes this an even more possible and sustainable situation. We are giving these young athletes a chance to compete on a world stage, on an international scale. So we're giving them career opportunities they wouldn't get locally. So we just keep going. I think we can keep going. How many can we actually import? More than we're doing so now. Let's just put it at that. We can make more. And they will all be competitive. They would all do well because we understand and we know what's going on here. We know how to nurture them, and they're playing at the most competitive level here locally in the Philippines. Not just under MPLPH, not just under MDL, but take it from our ranked games, right? Look at the discussion, look at the thoughts of many that flew out for M5 when they started playing ranked here. Felt very different. So that's my answer to number 1. Number 2, how long can PH withstand losing players? Okay, I have no stats on this and I have no real answer that is supported by numbers. But looking at the past couple of years when importing started to happen, when taking Filipino players and mixing them up with other orgs in other countries started to happen, I did not expect for it to rise up this much. I actually was very conservative when I was reading the room a couple of years ago. But now, how long can we withstand losing our players? Okay, I don't think we're losing players. To be honest, I don't think we're losing players. We're just nurturing a global landscape. If this is the mindset, then yes, we are losing players. If we're looking at it as PH as a box, the other MPLs or other leagues as a box, then we are losing players. But I think the reason why losing is the word here is because we haven't really seen a player, mind you, a player, come back from being an import and succeeding locally. But we have seen that with coaches. Weirdly enough. So there you go. My answer to number 2. How long can we withstand losing players? Right now, I don't think we're losing players. I think we can just keep going. So how many? So much more. How much longer? Indefinite. I think we can keep going. But to give you a number, check in about 3 years, 4 years from now. No matter who wins the World Championships from then on, between M6, 7, 8, I think we can still keep sending out Filipino athletes. Number 3, what does it do to our ecosystem? Now here is where Midnight and I actually kind of align, right? He goes to talking about the finances and the economics of why we produce so much imports, why so many Filipino athletes get signed in other orgs in other countries. It's because it's just more lucrative for them. They make more money there. They're able to make a better living for them. It's because they demand a high salary because they're great at what they do. Now, what does that do for us locally? Competitive-wise, it's okay because we will still just continue to make more players and teams. And I don't think we're going to be losing as the importee. We're going to be losing out on that front. I don't foresee a world where we import too much and we can't generate teams anymore and nurture teams anymore and players to where it becomes non-competitive, wherein we're losing. What it does instead for me is what I'm afraid of is the business side. What if the norm becomes importing, the norm becomes sending out players, and that becomes the baseline for salaries? That's good for the players, that's good for these young kids who have dreams, but can our local orgs and can the businesses locally sustain that? Because again, economies work differently, right? For some reason, the Philippines has a certain kind of economy. Again, don't take this as me saying I understand Philippine economics or even foreign economics, but just in my experience, the Philippine peso works a certain way so that when it comes to interacting with other economies, they're just so much stronger. That's why, again, importing is so attractive. So it's going to force the businesses and the orgs locally to evolve. It's going to force the hand of our org owners and managers locally to work out a way wherein staying in the Philippines becomes competitive. Now that's a side maybe that I'm relatively blind to, and that's a side I might not understand as much. That's why I'm so optimistic about the situation. So that's number 3. Lastly, does PH actually need to do something about it? No, not yet. My answer, nope, not yet. Doesn't matter. Regardless of what rules may fall under the league rules, as posted here by Midnight, about the MPL, controlling how these orgs interact and acquire assets through players, as players, I don't think there's much that we have to do or worry about. I think we're fine. I think as long as contracts are clear and, movements are not done under the table and that these players are being sent out, acquired legally, and signed to healthy and sustainable contracts, I think we're fine. I think we're fine. And you have to ask the question, who is we? PH, we. We as organizers, we as broadcasters, as storytellers, we as coaches, we as fans, right? Is there anything that we need to do? I don't think so. No, not much yet. But there is something else that I agree with in his closing. It might be coaches that actually are the marquee piece, the highlight of the importing practice. Maybe it's coaches that really are the cherry on top when it comes to MLBB esports in the Philippines. Just look at the track record of these very intelligent and talented individuals, you know, these icons, these titans. Coach Ducky, Coach Bon, Coach Yeb, Coach Tic Tac, Coach Panda, now Coach Vren, right? Coach Treb, you know, these world champions, Coach Theo, Coach G, these international icons, right? They're all coaches. So who's to say it's in the coaching game that really PH is so good at? Maybe there's something in the way that we are raised, something in our culture, something in our work ethic that allows for a coach to really unlock the best in an MLBB esports team, that allows for them to perform a certain way. That's that. Covered quite a bit in this episode. It's an amazing episode, and this brings us to the headline that I would like to hear from you guys. If you buy or sell, PH coaches are the next big import. This is the conclusion that I think I can draw straight out of the news that we've covered, and of course the discussion that was started by our good friend Midnight. It's coaches, man. Coaches hold the secret. And what that secret is, what the secret sauce is, what the magic is, we'll figure it out over 2024. But if we see more PH coaches imported and more teams internationally succeed because of that, then you'll regret selling on this. PH imports are the next big thing. Buy or sell. Get to it. That's it. Wrapping up this episode of Recall on Record. Shout outs to Ray Ash, my editor, always keeping things down pat, on lock, making sure that content keeps churning out and that you guys get maximum value. So give the homie a follow, give the homie a like on Facebook and on socials. Awesome content from him as well. And once again, Smart Giga Arena, your training ground of greatness, gigaarena.smart. Darkly Studios, where heroes come to light, and ASUS Republic of Gamers, for those who dare. I'll see y'all in the next episode of Recall on Record and in the other videos. So make sure that you're subscribed and that you like and follow me on social media. Peace out. Y'all have a great day.